Hey guys, funny story. I'm a bit late with this video because 6 of the 9 episodes of Arcane Season 2 are already out. And I actually wanted to release this video 2 weeks ago before those episodes came out, but life got in the way a little bit. Here is proof, by the way, actually. As you can see, the last edit I made to the script was before the first 3 episodes dropped, so yeah, there's proof of that. But I've already dumped so much time into this video, and it's been so long since I've uploaded that I kinda need to upload something, so I guess have this unnecessary video. Enjoy. Okay, be honest. How many of you saw this coming? Like, if I didn't make that community post a few weeks back, how many of you would have genuinely guessed that I'd make a video about this? Well, I am. Now that Murder Drones is officially dead, I figured I'd try testing my famously accurate theorist skills with a different franchise. Season 2 of Arcane is just around the corner after all, probably like a week away by the time I upload this. Terrible upload schedule aside, what's up my guys and gals, it's your boy Tyromaniac, back with another smoking hot video, and today I'm going to be talking about Arcane Season 2. So for once, I actually have no idea if you guys know what I'm talking about or not. You see, I'm not all that informed on what percentage of my audience lives under a rock. For those of you that do, Arcane is a Netflix original series based on the hit video game and leading cause of grass deficiency, League of Legends. In case it wasn't obvious, the phrase Season 2 implies that there's already a Season 1. And there is. It's available to watch on Netflix, and I highly recommend that you do. Not only will there be spoilers in this video, but Arcane is also just genuinely one of the most amazingly written, amazingly animated, amazingly amazing shows I've ever seen. Also yes, there will be a recap in this video, just not from me. Ahem. Alakazam, Alakazelda.
Meanwhile...
Gee, it sure is boring around here. My boy, this piece is what all true warriors strive for. I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
Alakazam, Alakazelda.
Where the hell am I?
Doesn't matter. Read this.
Okay? Alright, so basically there's this city called Piltover that's kind of been split up into 2. There's Topside, which is the rich half that controls everything, and there's the Undercity, or Zaun, the poor half that wants to break free and be its own thing. Our story starts in the Undercity, with these 2 sisters named Vi and Powder. Vi's this really good fighter who sticks up for others, while Powder's the less confident one, but makes up for it by building these gadgets that do something. Their parents were both killed during a rebellion against Topside, so the 2 of them are being raised by this guy named Vander, who's kind of like the leading figure in the Undercity. There's also this other guy named Silco, and his defining character trait is that he sucks. He's developing this drug called Shimmer. That's pretty much just magic steroids, and he also wants to kill Vander because of some betrayal that happened years ago. So anyways, Silco does end up killing Vander with a little accidental help from Powder's inventions. The whole event also ends up splitting the 2 siblings, with Vi being left to live on her own while Powder gets taken under Silco's wing. Flash forward however many years, and things just get worse. Powder ends up traumatized thanks to everything that happened, changing her name to Jinx and becoming a based schizophrenic?
No questions. Keep reading.
Alright, on the other hand, Vi just landed herself in prison until she was freed by a Topsider named Caitlyn. You see, Jinx set off a bunch of explosions in Topside, so now they want revenge. And they also want Vi to help them. She does, but only because that means she gets to hunt down and hopefully reunite with Powder before the Topsiders get to her. A bunch of stuff happens, Sesbi and Lex and all that, and eventually Jinx manages to kidnap Caitlyn, Vi, and Silco for one big family reunion. Jinx spends the whole time tweaking out until she ends up shooting Silco, who basically had become her surrogate father figure ever since Vander died. She instantly regrets it, leading to her then pressing R and using her ult to blow up the entire Piltover Council. Oh, and while all of that is happening, there's this other guy named Jace. And Jace, he has been climbing the ranks of said council and playing around with this stuff called Hex Tech. So yeah, that's just about all of Season 1. Minus anything about the character arcs and like half of the major plot points.
Shh, we don't talk about that. Right, so that there was my friend Alex. You might recognize him from that one Left 4 Dead video I made like, Jesus Christ, 2 years ago. And he's also an avid League of Legends player. Now before you start booing...
Well, excuse me, Tyler.
That also makes him the most qualified person I know to help me crack the story of Arcane Season 2 before it even releases. I'm going to be analyzing 3 of the many trailers that are currently out to see what I can piece together about the story. Alex here is going to be serving as my lore consultant, using his legendary knowledge of the League lore to help me out. See what I did there?
You've gotta be kidding.
Don't question me. I mean, what do you think? You ready?
I mean, if you're just gonna summon me out of the Aether whenever you feel like it, but whatever, I guess.
Beautiful. Now then, on with the theories. So for this one, we're going to be looking at 2 trailers in particular, the official trailer and the official teaser trailer. Yes, they're 2 separate things. You see, one thing I forgot to mention in the summary, get ready to hear that a lot by the way, was that somewhere out there in the world of Arcane, there's this empire that's completely separate from everything going on in Piltover. That empire is known as Noxus, and it's run by a grizzled war chief named Ambessa Medarda. That leads me to another thing I conveniently forgot to mention until just now, which is that Ambessa's daughter, Mel, was actually a member of Piltover's council, meaning she was in the room when Jinx bin Laden blew it up. Might create a bit of a drive for her to get involved, no? Well, in the trailers, we also see Ambessa talking to someone about how the council is dead and that martial law has to be declared in Piltover in order to restore law and order. We actually get to see the sleeve of the person she's talking to, and it looks nearly identical to either of these 2 council members. That, on top of the fact that we see Noxus soldiers marching alongside Piltover's enforcers, means that we can expect Noxus to get involved in the Piltover-Zaun conflict in Season 2. That much is obvious, but there's also a lot more to it. You see, there's a whole other faction in Piltover that I also just so happened to leave out of the summary, and that would be the Firelights. What was the point of the summary if I didn't even mention half of the relevant factions? Don't know, but what I do know is that the Firelights aren't really tied to Topside or the Undercity. They're all people from the Undercity, but they're also hiding from and actively fighting against the Drug Lords, or Chembarons as they're called, that run it. They also tend to operate outside the law, which puts them at odds with Topside's enforcers more often than not. Their only real enemies are Silco, technically Jinx too, and the other Chembarons. Otherwise, they're fine to just kinda exist independently. Got all that? Good. Now here's where I throw it all out the window. You see, there's one more character that I forgot to put in the summary. Last time, I promise. Named Echo. He's a childhood friend of both Vi and Jinx, and he's also a leader of the Firelights. That makes it pretty significant that there's a shot in the trailer where we see him dropping in to fight Noxus soldiers. What makes it even more significant is that for just a few frames, we can see that the Noxus soldiers in question just so happen to be squaring off against Piltover enforcers. There is also another shot from the trailers that makes this all even more interesting, but that one's based on knowledge of the game, so, you know, do the thing.
Sure, why not? So in the trailer there's this Jinx explosion going off topside, right? Well, for a split second in the background you can see actually this banner with a guy in golden armor on it. This guy looks identical to Jarvan IV, a champion in League of Legends from another kingdom called Demacia, and lore this guy has fought wars against Noxus, so if Topside is going to put his face on display like that, then they probably aren't too happy with Noxus either. Or it could just be some meaningless reference.
And back to the Shadow Realm with you. So, despite Noxus initially joining the war on Piltover's side, the 2 of them and the Firelights end up fighting. Why though? Well, before I answer that question, let's talk about Zaun. Going back to Echo, we see a shot in the trailers of him talking to somebody off-screen. Unfortunately, not off-screen enough. You see that little bit of blue right there? Let's pretend for a second that that's Jinx. Well, we see Jinx in another shot with a bunch of graffiti covering her, specifically these pink X's. You know who else has a pink X graffitied on them? Echo, when he goes to bonk the Noxus guys. Oh, and it goes even deeper.
That's what she said.
There's another shot in the trailer where we see Vi jumping on Echo's hoverboard with him, and Echo has the pink X in this scene too. We also know from other various shots that Vi is, at least temporarily, running with Piltover, probably thanks to the Sesbian Lex we mentioned earlier.
Oh, so that's allowed? But I get beaten up for a "that's what she said" joke?
What this means is that through Echo, both Vi and Jinx are going to be on the same side. That takes on a whole new meaning when you consider that Jinx is basically the quasi-leader of Zaun thanks to all the murals and the few Savika voice lines we see in the trailers, and that Vi is on Piltover's side like I just said. Looking at it from that angle, it starts to look like Piltover, the Firelights, and Zaun are all on the same team fighting against Noxus. It's not like this kind of team up would be completely out of the blue either. In a Reddit AMA from over 2 years ago, Arcane writer Amanda Overton said that if she had to describe Arcane Season 2 with a single word, that word would be forgiveness. So take that as you will. Could be talking about Vi and Jinx. Definitely talking about Vi and Jinx. But could also be talking about Piltover and Zaun in general. After all, nothing brings people together like a common enemy. Right, so if I had to summarize everything I just said, it'd go a little something like this. What if, after the events of Season 1, whatever's left of Piltover's High Command authorizes military action against the newly freed Zaun to bring the situation back under control? This includes an elite squad of Piltover's finest enforcers put together by Caitlyn, which we also see hinted at in the trailers, tasked with mopping up any forces still loyal to Silco while also dismantling Shimmer and bringing in Jinx. Unfortunately, the raw power of Shimmer is something that Piltover still isn't quite ready to face off against, leading the operation to end in failure. Sensing an opportunity and eager to avenge what happened to her daughter, Ambessa of Noxus offers her support in the war against Zaun. With the help of their new ally, Piltover is finally able to turn the tide and bring peace back to their city. That is, right up until Ambessa decides to flip the script and turn her armies towards conquering all of Piltover instead. Topside and Undercity included. If you think about it, it would actually make a lot of sense for a war-loving empire to do. Piltover is said to be the most important trading hub in the world, which would make them an extremely valuable target to control. That's not even mentioning the fact that Ambessa spent a lot of time in Season 1 talking about how much better it would be if she was the one running things. She might have even more of a reason to think that now that her daughter just got no-scoped under their watch. Also, you know, controlling Hextech sounds kinda cool. A lot of reasons to invade Piltover is the point I'm trying to make. Back to the theory. With the threat of a total Noxus takeover looming on the horizon, everyone finds themselves backed further and further into a corner. With no options left, everyone, from Topside to the Undercity to the Firelights, everyone puts aside their differences to focus on the true enemy. That's not to say that they have to like each other, they just have to stop actively killing each other long enough to send Noxus packing. Who knows, maybe we even see Demacia get introduced just so that they can get involved. They probably wouldn't be too thrilled about Noxus controlling Piltover either, so there's a motive for them. And that's just about everything I managed to squeeze out of those two trailers. Everything I cared about at least. But we're not done just yet. I've got some time left with this video and a bunch more trailers to dissect, but how do I pick which one to go with? If only I had some sort of incredibly complex, scientific, and well thought out method of picking which other trailer I should go through. Wait, I've got it.
A few moments later.
Alright, care to do the honors?
Boy, would I!
And that's about all I got. I know. Normally with these prediction videos I try and dive in a bit deeper to piece together every plot point I can. In my defense, however, this is an entire season I'm trying to figure out as opposed to a single episode like I'm used to. Besides, there's some absolute nut jobs in the Arcane community that probably beat me to it months ago, so I figured I'd just stick with the few specific theories that I feel confident in. Oh, and I almost forgot. Anything you wanted to say, Alex?
Lamp oil? Rope? Bombs? You want it. It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rupees.
Splendid. So anyways, that's it for—
Wait, I want to do it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, I guess.
So anyways, that's it for this video, so remember to light up that like button, smoke that subscribe button, drop a big old comment, and check out some of the other videos on the left.
And I will see you guys in the next video.
Squaddle, we're off.